welcome to, whether you're new or not, episode 4 of Day to Day Knits. My name is Sara. I am a knitter. I am from Portugal and I am living in the US in the state of Tennessee with my husband Joseph and our dog Effie. It is now 6:44 in the morning. I've been up since 3 because I'm just very excited since today is the day of my birthday. I'm turning 27 today. Grab yourself a drink or whatever you need to feel cozy, I guess. Lemonade, wine. It is going to be a sunny day here, filled with activities. Breakfast, I'm going to go to a yarn store, and I'm going to go walk around and have dinner with the family. We all either live together or work together, so, you know, even during the pandemic, we have quite a bit of interaction. And I do apologize for my nose sniffling thing, but it is freezing out there. It is very cold today. All right, so oh, and how do you like to celebrate your birthday? I personally, usually every year I make a cake. This year I am saving my dessert for tomorrow because tomorrow is Easter Sunday and I'll be making some rice pudding, arroz doce in Portuguese. And I do like to spend my day with family. When I lived in Portugal, we usually didn't like go out for dinner, at least, you know, not me with my parents. And instead we just have dinner at home and then we just have some of the cake that I made for that day. Usually a cookie cake, a Portuguese cookie cake, bolo de bolacha, which is not an actual baked cookie. Instead it's just, you know, normal bland cookies that are dipped in coffee and then layered with coffee-based cream between each layer, like a very thin layer of creamy coffee goodness. But I love it, love it, love it. But this year I decided to go with something more traditional, the rice pudding, because, you know, Easter and all. Anyway, I am wearing my Rola-Brava sweater. I am very happy with it, even though it didn't turn out exactly how I wanted it, and I had some yarn chicken problems. I really like it. There is no pattern for this. I just decided to, you know, draw something and try to make it. I have made other sweaters before, so, you know, I sort of am aware of how to construct a sweater. But I thought I would give you some, well, the steps that I went through to make this, just in case you want to try it yourself. So, you know, if you want to, grab paper and a pencil or a pen and let's do this. Oh, by the way, I am drinking a delicious raspberry tea. It doesn't have caffeine / tain or anything like that, but it is from my favorite brand, which I'm not obviously being paid to advertise, but I just really like it. And it's Honey and Sands, and this one is loose leaf. It just comes in this cute little tin. I love it. Probably one of my favorite teas. It's not sweet, but it has like a fruity aroma, and it's not bitter either. Yeah, all right, so first thing I did was, of course, the research and swatches. I decided to do like a swatching around for my ribbing. Oh my god, well that is a loose end. Totally forgot that I had that one left, so I'm just gonna take that in. No one can see it now. All right, so this ribbing here is a knit through the back loop. That right there. So it makes this like braided effect. I don't know if you can see it very well. And then I purled through the back loop as well. So it's like reversible. You know, it's going to have the braid on the inside and on the outside. See right there. And for that swatch, well, that swatch ended up being one of these. Cannot remember which one, but it fit my wrist perfectly. So I decided to use that and do the other one exactly the same. And yeah, I think that's unusual to do your cuffs before anything else. But I used that and, you know, research looking at different patterns that I had done or that I had already bought, really, because I have not done everything that I have bought. And then I decided how much I needed to cast on. And of course, you probably should not be trying to do this if you have not done another sweater before, because the other sweaters will have proper instructions. Anyway, so I did the same ribbing with a braid, you know, knitting through the back loop and purling through the back loop as well, which is a lot of trouble. I mean, you don't have to purl through the back loop. It's just, it's hard, and this is not like a reversible pattern. There's really no point to it. I just wanted to see if it changed anything, and I think it made my pearls more closed, because instead of just having the bridge like that and a V on the other side, the V is closing any gaps, but you don't need to do that, you know. And then after I did that, I worked either on the front panel or back panel, doesn't matter, they're the same, because there are no short rows or anything like that. And for that, I have a row on each side of the opposite of stockinette. I cannot remember that word right now. And so I did 5 of that, make one through, I think 5 like knits, and I placed the marker, and then knit one front and back, go all the way to whatever other market I had put, you know, from doing research from other patterns. I cannot remember exactly how much it was. Knit one front and back, you know, through the front, through the back, and then knit one again, and then knit, and then I flipped it, and I slip one, knit 4, that's like to the marker, purl to the other marker right here, knit 5, and then the row after that, and I mean that's going to be a row that you're going to repeat, and the row after that is going to be the other row that you repeat. And for that it was slip 1, knit 4, knit through the front and through the back, knit through the front and through the back, knit 1, and that's where you are at the marker, and then knit 5. So that's what you're going to repeat. You slip the first stitch, do the side, when you get to the marker, do the center, you get to the marker, do this side, turn, then same thing again, you know, slip, side, center, side, turn, slip, etc. And I did that until I thought, you know, it would like cover everything, and it would be just big enough to join under the arm. And look, my arm ends here and the armhole ends there. Okay, and then I did the same thing for the back or front, can't remember, doesn't matter. And then I joined it around, and when I did that, I got this. Now, when I joined, I had, 10 pearls, and then knits, and then on the other side again 10 pearls and then knits. So then I just started closing in by knitting 2 together, or slip knitting 2 together there, and it creates this, like, I don't know if you can actually see it if I go in, but it creates like a, I guess, a movement of pearls. I don't know how else to put it. And then I did that until I had 5 on each side. Then I went down, and then I decided to try and do something slim-ish, that follows the shape of my body. And for that I did the creases here, and then I made stitches there. So that's what I did on both sides. I did the creases like every 4 rows or something, like 1 on each side every 4 rows, and then I added some every 4 rows, more or less. And then I did the ribbing. And this is what I wish I had done longer. I wanted it to be something like that. But this was 2 skeins, and I was going to have to open up my 3rd skein that I did buy. I mean, I have it. It is just, still in the shape of a skein. Let's see. So that's that for that. And then, so like I ended up with a top and 2 unattached cuffs. And then what I did for the mohair, but then you end up with like these hole type things that follow your arm, and you may not like this. But what I did was I grabbed these stitches that were put on a waste yarn, and I cut them and I knit, and I turn around and I purl, and I turn around and I knit one, like always picking up from this side my slip stitches, and from my the other side of the armhole my other slip stitches. So I pick up one, knit through the front and through the knit one, make one, knit all the way to the other side until I have 1 stitch left, make one and knit one. I turn and I just purl, always picking up the slip stitches. And I did that until I got to the end and also have 100 stitches. All right, so then it gives me this like big sleeve. And then I just kept knitting till I got to the end. My last row before I bind off is knit 2 togethers until I'm like really close to the bottom, and then I just get a bunch of them together, so it just ruffles up a little bit. I think ruffle would be the correct word for this, I don't know. And then when I bind off, that's when I pick up the stitches from my cuff. So binding off, I'm basically sewing them together, if that makes sense. And I did that, and this is 1 skein of mohair, and I should have weighed my skein, because when I did this one, I was short by like 15 rows. It is not ideal. Like, you can't tell much, you know, but if I stretch my arms, you can see this one, you know, is a lot shorter than this one. But that's okay, yeah. Day to day, no one will notice. And this was then using the Malabrigo Rios, which is 100% Superwash Merino. I don't love Superwash, but somehow I have lots of it. And the color is 49 Jupiter, and that's this. And somehow I ended up with, I don't know if it's like 2 different batches, but this one's a lot pinker, this one's a lot darker. And I do have one leftover skein that I am thinking of adding to our 2021 knit along knitting bundle at the end of the year. So, you know, to enter that, you just go to the Ravelry group, to the right thread, and I'll have that information below. And you post your finished object, and that has to be an object that was started this year, finished this year, and has to be one of the projects that was mentioned on this podcast, and I will have a list right at the beginning of the group so you can see that. You know, see that list. What else? Oh, right. And this mohair is 28% silk, 72% mohair, and it's a skein of Camellia Fiber Company, and the color is Camellia. And this is a yarn that is done in Asheville. It's very soft, has a nice sheen. I really like it. And it comes in lots of like pinks, and I think they had browns too when I got it. Just lots of different like natural, neutral-ish shades. That will really probably go well with everything. You know, it's just like toned down, earthy-ish colors. Let's see what else. So I think that's all I have to say about this one. Let me know if you do try to do it, or I don't know, maybe it will inspire you to do your own sweater. I mean, I decided to do this because I really wanted sleeves like this, but I could not find a pattern that had sleeves like this and had a fit that I like and a neckline that I like. I mean, Jessie Maed has one that has sleeves like this, but it has like a super deep V, and I don't really wear V shaped collar slash neckline sort of stuff. I don't know. I don't think it looks the best on me. Don't like to see it much. So I just decided, you know, I'm gonna make myself something that has sleeves like that, but you know, that I like and feel comfortable in. So that's one thing. Something else that I made is the Rhinebeck is Calling socks by the Crazy Sock Lady. I have both of them here, but there you go. And this gorgeous yarn is Knitpicks Hawthorne fingering in Silverton Tonal hand paint. It is 80% wool, 20% nylon. It doesn't feel like very soft. It feels slightly rustic, but it has a nice elasticity to it because of the nylon, I guess. And this pattern has a very, well, it has like, it's super I don't know, different than any pattern that I've done for socks. It has eyelets here. And then this part is just like a textured part, similar to a seed stitch, I think. And just, you know, goes around. This is just net. It's top down, you know, heel flap, the way I like it. And I really like it. I would wear this, but it is not my size. On purpose. Alright, and as you can see, I think that last time I showed this yarn, it looked very gray, like silverish, but I think here you can see at the better light that it is gray, but it has like a old pink violet hue to it. I think you can tell that better. And I have both of them. And so I guess that was my sock for the month, because you know I like to do a pair of socks every month. And then, and I'll only show you one of these because I am wearing the other one, I have the red Cedar slipper. It's 2 slippers, but I'm only holding one. The yarn is, this is from, gosh, I forget. It's Plymouth yarn, DK Merino Superwash. Again, 100% Merino Superwash. The color is Chipmunk Heather. And this blue part is some leftover yarn that I have. I thought it went well together. And it is Bobby Blue, Malabrigo Rios, again 100% Superwash Merino, and it's leftover from my husband's cardigan that I gifted to him last year for Christmas. I'm gonna take this out, keep slipping. This is a double-sided cuff is what I would call it. It's a really long cuff that you fold, so it's like very cushiony, and then you have this Latvian type braid. I don't know if it's something that is supposed to look like a Latvian type braid, or if it is, you know, a Latvian braid. Is it it? Or does it look like it? I don't know. I cannot remember. I could check the pattern, but I will probably not. Anyway, a warning, if you decide to do this pattern, I am doing a L, which means it's kind of loose around my foot, but also if I want to, I could just wear a sock inside, because this is like a bootie. This is not, you know, I guess you could wear it as a sock, but it is a slipper, and for me a slipper I can use, if I want to, another sock inside of it, so I get extra warm and cozy feet. So when you put the cuff together, like, you know, fold it in half and knit both sides of the cuff together, and then you start doing the Latvian braid. All of that, adding to the fact that, I don't know, maybe it's because this is 2-colored ribbing too, I don't know. It makes it not very elastic like that. So, this one is my looser one. I did one that's very tight and that's on my foot, and I don't want to be taking that off and putting it back on. But this one is the looser one that I did afterwards when I tried to put the other one on my feet, the first one, and I realized that it is very tight. Like, once it's on my foot, like wrapping my ankle, it's fine, it is not tight, but just trying to get it to fit like past the heel, that was hard. I had that problem. Sherry, that is my mother-in-law, and I knit this with her like literally, we did the cuff together, we did the heel together, we did the body together. We just did not do the toes together because I thought she was already doing the toes, so I did the toes. But I guess I did the toes without her because she did not do the toes when I thought she was going to do the toes. Anyway, it's fine. I'm gonna help her do the toes. Oh yeah, so we both did this. It was for both of us tight. Now we are somewhat tight knitters. She's a lot tighter than I am. Luckily she has smaller feet than I do. But I think we're both doing the large size. Yeah, we are. We're both doing the large size. And hers was like so tight that we had to, you know, like soak it to block it and then put it around a big cup, like one of those metal cups that you can put your like hot coffee and such, but the cup is like shaped like this. So we just put it there and we just tried to pull it as much as we could to force it to get wider and, you know, able to fit a foot. Yeah, so this is the other one, the other pattern that I did. We started this last year. It's just taken a while. Not because it's hard or anything, just because she doesn't have as much time to knit as I do. So, you know, if I'm doing something at the same speed that she is doing something, it's just gonna take a little bit longer. But that's fine. It's not like I was in a rush. I mean, I do have like 5 other socks then, so my feet are warm and cozy. And oh yes, and then I did some coasters because it was Sara's birthday last week, literally a week ago, and she wanted blue coasters, and we went to a bunch of different stores at the mall, tried to get her some blue coasters, and we didn't find any. So I decided to knit her just 4 coasters. Each one is a different pattern. I will either put a picture around here or a video at the end of the video, where I just show, you know, how I'm sewing some of it. It's not like the whole process or anything like that. But, you know, it's better than me just explaining, making shapes and stuff with my hands, and, you know, it's actually, you know, seeing what it ends up like. So basically what I did is like 4.5 by 4.5 squares. One of them, these are all like different patterns when you look at them. Oh, and I made this up too. I mean, I didn't like, maybe there is something on Ravelry or somewhere where they show how to do this, but alright, so here's what I did. Cast on 25 stitches. And then I, you know, on one of them, I knit, purl, knit, you know, like knit, turn, purl, turn, knit, turn, purl, turn, you know. Actually, I did that for 2. And then one has the knit showing, the other one has the purl showing, and I do that until I get, like, I can't remember if it was until I got 4 inches, and then when I blocked it was 4.5, but basically until I got the square, until it looked like a square. And then for the third one, I just knit on both sides, so you know, it doesn't look like knits, it doesn't look like purls. There's a name for this, but again, I forget what it is. Now it's stuck in it, the other one. And then the last one was I knit like, I don't know, maybe 4 rows, and then actually, sorry, knit 1 row, turn, purl 1 row, you know, so it looks like a bunch of knits. But then I do knit 4, yarn over, knit 2 together, knit 3, yarn over, knit 2 together, knit 3, yarn over, knit it together until I get to the end. And then purl, knit, purl, knit 9, knit 8, skew, you know, slip, slip, knit, yarn over, and then knit 3, skew, yarn over, knit 3, skew, yarn over till I get to the end. So then you end up with like a lace pattern that's not, you know, like super obvious, but it just has like, you know, little lace holes doing a zigzag shape. So I got those and I blocked them, and I did all of this in a week. I guess it's probably a good present, like if you're in a rush. Oh, and I did this using my Urth yarn that I got to do my first 2 sweaters last year. It's a blue yarn that is heathered. And then for that, yeah, I finished that, I blocked them. They're all of them except the lace. The lace ended up being a little bit bigger, probably because it's lace. It ended up being like 5 inches by 5 inches. And I had some linen fabric that I used last year to make a few pants. Like, you know, linen lounging pants, nothing like with buttons or zippers, anything like that. It's crazy. I would not do that. That would be a lot. And I put that on the back of it. I flipped the fabric over like this, and then I knitted all around. And then, because linen is a very stiff type fabric, I mean, it has no stretch, and wool has a lot of stretch, and I cannot remember if that was Superwash or not. I don't think it was Superwash. I think it was just plain Merino. I like imagine that this is the square, you know, and then I knit in the middle, I knit side to side, I knit connecting all those 4 ends. And now it's something that either has a blue center and a beige border, or you flip and it's like a beige linen square that has the lines then in a blue yarn. And I think it's fine. I mean, it was, you know, obviously handmade, but you know, it was caring and it does its job, and I think that's what matters. It's not like bulky or anything, so you know, cups won't fall. Of course, if it had cables or something, I don't think that would have been a good idea to have cables. You know, you don't want your cup tumbling. And that's all when it comes to FOs. Then I have some whips. Probably too many whips. Alright, so first things first. His Vest by Churchmouse, Yarns and Tees. It's, you know, a vest for men, as the name says, you know, his vest. And I'm doing the smaller size, and let me tell you that the smaller size is very big. Like on page 3, and I should have noticed this before, on page 3 they say how to make it the length that you want. I just went with what the pattern said, and I did not change the length of it. And now I am going to have to shrink it. I mean, it is too wide and it is too long. It is huge. I'm gonna have trouble showing it here, but the yarn is Knit Picks City Tweedy Kaya, the color is Toad. It is 35% merino, 25 alpaca, and 20% Donegal tweed. It is very, very soft. Donegal tweed is, from my understanding, a man-made fiber, and that might help to its softness. But you know, merino alpaca are soft yarns, so I don't know. But it's like dark mossy green with white speckles, beige speckles, and black speckles. This is the ribbing for the front. I did yesterday. This is the ball of yarn. It already comes, you know, shaped as a ball-ish. And this is the back. Okay, all right, hold on. That's one armhole. That's another. And it's long. This could be a dress for me. Has anyone, you know, that is watching this ever decided to shrink something that they did to make it fit a person? Because I am going to have to do that. I've never done that before. I've never put my knits in a washer or a dryer. I don't exactly know what to do, but I do know that I'm going to finish this, block it, and then I'm going to do it. I just don't know how, but it's gonna have to be done because this is extremely wide and it has like a V-shaped neck, and I've never done that before, so I didn't want to like make it the perfect width or something. I could have made it a better length, but I did not see the page 3 instructions on how to size that until I got to page 3 to finish the shoulders and neck to bind off the back of this. Ay, vida. Oh, that means life. Yeah, so that was an adventure. Have you guys ever done something like that? Like, have you ever been in this position where you're doing something that you either know that it won't be quite the right fit, or you decide later on, like you see later on, it's not quite the right fit and you have to shrink it? Like, what was it? What happened? And did it work out when you shrunk it? Like, did it got felted? I don't know. I imagine that this will felt because it's wool, but I don't know. I don't know. It's a little bit scary. And that is one of my whips. Another whip that I'm doing is the vanilla socks on Magic Loop by the Crazy Sock Lady. Yes, again, but it's a really good pattern, and I'm making my own color work, which is very easy color work. You know, it's nothing crazy, it's just dots. So to do this, I am using the online Supersocke Worker Socks 2, and the colors, they're all numbers, so this is like the only gray that they had and the only blue. Everything else was, I think, maybe black, and then different shades of brown and beige and such. I have 20 rows of ribbing, And then my main color is the gray. My contrast color is the blue. I'm going to be doing this for 40 rows, so I probably have like still 5 rows to go. If you want to know how I did these dots, I have that on my Ravelry page. On my, on this project is a note, and it's a 4-row repeat. It's really, really easy to catch on. So you should try it. And I think the floats turned out beautiful. So neat. And yeah, and then the rest of the sock is just going to be gray, and then I'm going to do blue toes. I think it's going to be pretty handsome. Pretty handsome. So silly. Well, this is using some leftover yarn that I had from doing Father's New Socks, which is another pattern on Ravelry that I did last year. And let's see. For this, it's 75% wool, 25% nylon, and it is not like a super soft sock. Instead, it feels slightly rustic, but it has like a lot of elasticity to it. And it is, after all, 25% nylon. I like that. I mean, it's bad, it's plastic, but it will last longer, and it will have, the elasticity that one likes in socks. And then, of course, I have my Coziest memory, which is a blanket by Kemper Wray. Since I have another one of my project bags, I just have a lot of project bags. And look, I am doing it chronologically, except for this color. This color is in the wrong place, but it's basically squares. Let's see, I think this one's a good one to show. Lots of stitch definition. It has no purls. It is just, knitting on both rounds, and then some decreases on the center. In the center. This is the yarn for my first socks that I actually have right here because I had these on. I got the yarn at Black Mountain. It was the first project I ever did, and they are just some vanilla socks. I don't actually know who the pattern is from or by. This is not a different yarn. This is just, it's the same yarn, but as a patch. So like the whole skein got bluer. So this one that's like newer on the sock is still very whitish. Yep. I wear these all the time. That's why they got worn out. I don't know. I made a whole giant hole. Huge. It went from really thin yarn on the heel to just no heel. Yeah, so that's the first one. This one is another yarn that I used to make other socks. This one is the one that I use for the coasters. Actually, this could be coasters. That would have been a good idea. Oh well. This is the yarn that I use for the coasters. I also use it to make 2 sweaters. This one I used to make another sweater. And this is a Malabrigo yarn. This is Urth. And I still have one skein that is not even wound. Wound? I don't know, wound, I think. And it's a rustic tweed by Isager. I don't know how to pronounce that word. I think it's Danish or something like that. But it's the color of it is wine. It is a beautiful And I'm thinking of adding that yarn to the bundle for the knit along. It's a rustic yarn. So you know, you could have like 2 different shades of pink. This one's reddish in comparison to this. This one is more like a purplish tone. And look at those cute speckles. There's like purple speckles, gray speckles, magenta type speckles. I really like it, but I only have 1 more skein. I used this skein to, you know, I used all the other skeins to make a cardigan, and I had like a ball like this big. And I think that this is sport. I can't remember if it's sport or fingering. But I had enough to make this and still had enough to make repairs on the cardigan if necessary. And then I have all of my other yarn to add this chronologically. And then after that, I did cast on 1 more thing. I mean, it doesn't look like much, but this is the beginning of the Cozy Raglan, I think that's the name of it, by Jessie Maed. Except that I am going to make it into a t-shirt. I got this idea because I was making the Park Williams cold crop top, cold top, something like that. And I did this in this yarn. Which is, I think it's like 50-50 silk wool, and this is a Elsebeth Lavold yarn. This is a teal type color. It is called 101 Mallard, like the duck. And I had 1 skein left, and then this much, which is really almost a skein. So then I decided, you know, I'm like 1 skein short of doing a shorter project. So the top will be white, like, you know, to there. And then I'm going to change the color over 24 rows to this. And then the bottom will be teal. I think it is going to be pretty cute and nice and summery. I'm doing the smallest size. I was between sizes, but since this pattern has 20, no, not 20, that would be silly. Since it has 4 to 6 inches of positive ease, and if you don't know positive ease, it means that it is, the finished garment is bigger than your body. Like these sleeves, they're a whole lot bigger than my arms, but like fast fashion socks or leggings or yoga pants or, you know, that sort of thing, that has negative ease, which means that when you take that off of your body, it is going to be a whole lot smaller than your body, and then it will stretch to the size of your body. All of Jessie Maed's patterns are inclusive in terms of body size, and she is, I believe, part, I want to say Filipino, Asian. So, you know, I think that maybe buying some of her patterns, because, you know, this is like her job, you know, she is a knitwear designer. It's not like it's like a part-time thing where she makes a little bit extra money. I don't know, if you want to support some Asian designers, she has something for everyone, literally. shorts, t-shirts, sweaters. Super cute stuff. And I think that's all in terms of whips. And then of course I will be casting on the sorrel. I was planning on doing that for today, my birthday, but I'm not sure I will have time because I make these videos on the first Saturday of every month, and I would like to publish this one as I've published the other ones on the first Sunday of every month, or the first Sunday after the first Saturday. I don't know, the month might start on a Sunday. Yeah. So that's why there's the sorrel by Wool & Pine. I am going to be using Mondin from Retrosaria. Mondi is a Portuguese yarn. It is 100% wool from Portuguese sheeps. And then I'm going to be doing a bunch of different Mondin colors. I'm going to start with pink, go to a white or speckled pink, go to a beige, go to a yellow. And the yellow is kind of like a mustard yellow. And then I am going to do, you probably saw this in the last episode. I mean, I did show all the yarns, but the mohairs will be Rosarios, Aurora, and a pink shade. I don't know the name of it, or if it even has a name, might just be a number. And then, and that's like a light baby pink. It has a really nice sheen to it. And the other mohairs will be a white mohair and the yellow, like canary type mohair. And those are from Concept 50 mohair. Yeah. So that's it. It is, I went from, my New Year's resolution was going to be knit 2 things at a time, make one for yourself and one to give to someone else, because I tend to want to pass on too many things, and then I tend to make a lot of things to give away. So then I like get to the end of the year and I have, say, 12 projects and 3 of those are for me. I don't know. I need to make myself more stuff, more socks. Oh, talking about socks. All right, so in case you don't know, there is a thing called the Summer Sock Camp that is hosted by Kay, and that is the Crazy Sock Lady podcaster. Camp lasts 3 months. It starts at the beginning of June and it ends at the end of August. I am going to participate. I am going to try and make 2 socks every month. So that means that in 3 months I would have done 6 pairs, which is a lot to ask for. My sweaters will be going a little bit slower then. But I need socks. I have a ton of sock yarn. I want to make socks. I'm gonna make shorties and probably just normal sized 20 rows of ribbing, 40 rows of leg socks. Camp is free and it is you don't have to like sign up or anything. I might just put the link to her video down below where she explains, what camp is, what you do. There's just one thing that you choose to pay for and it's like $25. And that's like VIP camp, where you do, part of it is like a Zoom call, a free pattern, and discounts to her patterns. There are 4 different sponsors this year. 2 have bags, 2 have a yarn inspired by this year's camp's logo. There's guess every year is different, but this is only the second year. And then the Crazy Sock Lady sells her own t-shirts and mags and such with the logo. So I really liked joining in last year. I will do it again this year. Let me know if you are planning on doing it too. I know Jane is, you mentioned last episode, and I think Sherry might as well. I mean, oh yeah, and then at the end of it, you can win prizes, so that's always nice. And let's see. Oh, I'm getting vaccinated next week. It is so exciting. I've been looking forward to it. I don't want to get sick again. It was pretty bad. Oh, and then I bought new yarn. Like, I got this email from Knitpicks saying that all of their green yarn was on discount, like mid-March or something. And I bought skeins to make a vest for myself. It's another tweed yarn, but it's not like as dry as this for a green. It's like still speckled and all that, and the speckles are like golden-ish speckles. But the green itself is more like a cilantro type green. I think it's called cilantro heather. Well, it was beautiful. It was on discount, and for like, I think it was like $13 American. I got enough yarn to make myself a vest. I think that that is an amazing deal. I had to get it. I got it. It is very exciting. I can't wait to do it. I've never had a vest before. Like, I've had, like, you know, one of those like zippered vests when I was a kid, but that was it. As an adult, I've never actually worn a vest. But I think it would be really nice to take to work. It's gonna be really good looking in the fall and in the winter, especially at Christmas with such a pretty green. And yeah, I think that's it. So, what is on your needles? Socks, sweater, hats, perhaps? Maybe something already for spring and summer. We had some really hot days here where, like, you go outside and everyone's wearing t-shirts and shorts, and it's like summer came early. And then suddenly, and like, I started worrying because I still have this Relto cast on. I'm still working on this. It's a lot of wool stuff, and then I also want to like do stuff to wear this summer, right? But you know what? It is Tennessee. And what is Tennessee spring if not summer one day, winter the next? That's right. 2 days after the most recent warm day, my car windshield wipers were frozen because it got so cold so suddenly. It didn't snow or anything, and I don't think it will. It just got really, really cold. And this is right after the floods. So I don't know if you all know, but Tennessee got hit pretty bad with floods. Nashville had some real problems with it. I mean, it rained a lot in Knoxville, but not enough, I guess, to make, you know, landslides and that sort of thing. At least as far as I know. But right after that, we got a hot day where it still did rain, and then a really cold, freezing day. And of course, you know, that's very dangerous because you have wet roads that suddenly get like a super thin layer of ice. Car accidents. That's what I think of when I think of that. But I don't think that happened, as far as I know. Like, I didn't hear of any like major accident, you know, involving ice on the roads. And I think everyone was okay in the end. And that was good. It's gonna be a sunny day. Let's see, what time is it now? Aha! It has been probably exactly an hour by now. And really I have nothing else to show you. It's just me knitting, having my tea that is room temperature, but still delicious. Although it's still early for Joseph, my husband. He said that he was going to make me breakfast, French toast, very similar to the Portuguese rabanadas, but instead of having a sweet syrup, like homemade syrup, either orangey flavor or wine flavor, it's just dry, and you know, you eat it with your fruits and whipped creams and honey and sausage and bacon, I guess. I don't know. I don't really eat that for breakfast. I don't like salty foods for breakfast. Although I don't mind the, you know, cheese. It's a cheese sandwich that you put in a panini press. What do you call that? Some people here eat it with tomato soup.